Hey everybody, Craig Cottle, Director of Nature Blind School. I get asked all the time about different books that I've utilized or am utilizing for outdoor bushcraft survival nature study. So what I thought I'd do is start a new series called The Book Bag, and this is video number 1. Surprise, surprise, we're going to be talking about tree books today. I bet that doesn't surprise you, does it? And what I thought I'd do is utilize my Shackleton satchel from Jayberry, my good buddy Jayberry at Tough Possum Gear, to highlight his bag, as it's a fantastic bag. But with that said, I want to go over some books that I utilize for dendrology, tree identification, those things that go along with it. First off, one of my favorites is the Identifying Kentucky's Forest Trees by the University of Kentucky. No matter where you live, you'll probably have some sort of resource like this from the primary university in your state, so look for that. Second, here's a couple of real good introductory books on tree identification: Winter Tree ID and Tree Finder. Both of these are by May Watts. I'm sorry, I thought it was Mary. But May Watts, these are fantastic. Just to give you an idea, I bought this one the other day because my other one I got lost is about $7 now. And the first time I bought this one is $2.75. That's how long I've utilized this one. Fantastic books for beginners. They're a dichotomous key, which means you look at some part of a tree and go, okay, is this a conifer, is this an evergreen, or is this a deciduous tree? And if it's a deciduous tree, you go to this step, and if it's a conifer, you go to this step. And so you just keep going down through different questions like that until you arrive at the species of tree that you're looking at. Fantastic resources. I love those things as introductions. Next, the Peterson field guides. I'm a huge fan of the Peterson field guides. This one is on forest. I have a much thicker one that I utilize all the time. It's stained, it's dirty, it's somewhere in my truck. I couldn't find it before I made this video because I utilize it all the time. I may have left it out laying next to a tree somewhere, I'm not sure. But fantastic book at looking at the overall ecology, maybe even the physiographic regions, why these trees grow here and these trees grow there, that kind of stuff. Fantastic resource. Next is the Illustrated Book of Trees by Wallace Grimm. This is my go-to tree book resource. Fantastic resource. A lot of dendrology, tree identification students have utilized this as the resource for eastern woodlands at the University of Kentucky. So I'm a big fan of this book. He does a fantastic look at summer characteristics, winter characteristics, buds, leaf scars, bark, leaf patterns, leaf structure, veination, everything that goes along with it. Fantastic resource. Last but not least, this book right here is one of the hidden gems, if you will, of tree stuff, forest forensics. And what he did with this book is it's basically like a person that really likes tracking and applying 20, 30, if not 100-year-old tracks to a forest. So if you see really old barbed wire in a tree, what kind of things can that tell you about the landscape? If you have trees that have fallen over and you can see a tree that's fallen over, you can see that big pile of mud, can you look at how old that big pile of dirt and mud and roots are and determine things about the landscape as a whole? It's basically like an investigative detective's look at the forest in a large scale and trying to determine what's happened in the past. Love this resource. Absolutely love this resource. Last but not least, probably the most important, is my notebook, because I take a lot of notes. When I'm out writing and doing things as it relates to tree identification, I write notes down, observations that I have. I check those observations when I get back to the office or when I get back to my resources if I'm not carrying them with me at the time. And that way I'm constantly drawing leaves, drawing bark patterns, drawing leaf scars and buds and all the things that go along with it, because we know from a mountain of research that writing and drawing are absolute necessary functions of imprinting information into your brain. So don't discredit a notebook. Take a notebook with you, take notes, write things, draw things. Even if you're not an artist, draw as best you can, and that way you have the resources that you can utilize on the fly without your resources when you go out there. So that way you can come on, join in, let's learn together.